Hey everybody, Tony George, DocSports.com. It's later in Tuesday here. You know what that means. NFL opening line report for this week. We got some games to go over for you here. Raw and candid, initial gut reactions, just me and you drinking a beer at the sports bar, shooting the breeze about these games, at least my initial opening reactions here. Gonna make it short and sweet here. Look, couple down weeks, to say the least, in the NFL. I have not had a good NFL run the last 2 weeks. Deplorable and unacceptable. But, as they say in The Big Lebowski, sometimes you eat the bar and sometimes the bar eats you. A lot of people count on me to bounce back, put it behind you, take a positive step forward, lock and load, kick ass, and take names. That's what we're going to have to do this weekend because last week was not good in the NFL. It's one thing about being at Docs. Everybody there is transparent, and I'm as transparent as anybody. Those of you that have been following me for the last, 28 months, whatever it is, on these videos know that to be true. So for my premium clients, we will bounce back this week. And we got some units to make up. Had a rough week, no doubt about it. And I'm not happy about it. I'm going to read these right off the screen. Let's get to this week. There is some opportunity this week. We're going to take advantage of it. Let's get to the lines here. Thursday night football game. It's going to be the unbeaten San Francisco 49ers, currently sitting at 9.5 at Circa and MGM, and 10 everywhere else in Las Vegas. Total 42.5 to 43 against the Arizona Cardinals on the road. After the performance San Francisco put up last week against a team that's better than Arizona, it's going to be real hard to go against them. This is not a game that I'm interested in. Thursday night games, typically rookie coaches do not do well on Thursday nights. There's a lot of things going against Arizona here. Running game's banged up. San Francisco has proven that they are absolutely 100% the real deal. And right now, Shanahan is odds on the coach of the year, maybe along with Sean Payton. But I don't really want anything to do with that one on Thursday. Gut reaction would be either you lay it or you just completely stay away from it. Houston, Jacksonville, this one is in London. Houston currently laying 2 across the board. They're 1.5 at Circa, total 46.5. Jacksonville, I think that defensive line, my initial gut reaction on this line here is the underdog, Jaguars. I'll look at it. I think the defensive front against that offensive line of Houston, which is suspect, they could put a lot of heat on Watson. Minshew, Magic is still around. Jacksonville's used to playing in London. I think the wrong team favored. Buffalo, Washington. Buffalo laying 10, 9.5 at 2 spots. Pardon me, they're at 10 at 3 spots. William Hill, CG, and Stations, and the rest of them are 9.5. Total 37 and dropping, 36.5 at most places. Split 37 to 36.5. What's Washington going to do at quarterback? Buffalo's defense embarrassed, gave up 31 last week. Embarrassed. That was not Buffalo's best game last week, and Buffalo is a better team than what they played last week against Philadelphia. They got out-coached a little bit. Then Buffalo has a good coach. Peterson's just a good coach, but at the end of the day, great teaser play. Buffalo, get them down to -4. Total, like I said, 37, 36.5. They don't expect Washington to score much. What have they averaged the last 2 weeks? It's a bad football team right now in total disarray. Tennessee, Carolina, Carolina laying 4 everywhere except Stations and CG. They're laying 3.5 there. The total is 41.5. Word is Cam Newton's going to start. Great time to put him in since Allen, who'd won 4 in a row, lost last week, and they lost badly. So it's a nice excuse to bench a quarterback that's probably better than the one they're going to bring in. If they bring in Newton, I'm not sold on him with him at all. I can only take the underdog there. Chicago, Philadelphia. Chicago's an absolute train wreck offensively. Nagy is showing why he was a good offensive coordinator, not a good head coach. Not handling the press well, not handling the play calling well. Peterson, on the other hand, is an expert. You can only look at Philadelphia in that game. Chicago, I don't want anything to do with Chicago with Mitch Trubisky. They passed up Watson and Mahomes for that guy. That director of play of personnel needs to be fired and hung out to dry. Why they traded up for him too? He's terrible. No, he threw for 247 yards last week. The offense does not respond around him. He's not a big play capability type quarterback. They're better off with Daniels. They really are. They really are. You know, Philadelphia at home. I can't do anything with Chicago. And I know the NFL is hard to predict, and it's Jekyll and Hyde from week to week. You don't know what you're going to get. What you're going to get out of Chicago is a consistently bad offense and some very bad play calling. That's been consistent all year long. Correct me if I'm wrong. Leave comments if you want. I'll filter, take a look at them in the back end and post the ones that are relevant. But in this game here, I can only look at Philadelphia. Minnesota, Kansas City, there's word that Mahomes is going to play, that he's not. Why? He's not ready yet. But here, Kansas City's defense is a funnel to the end zone for running backs, especially good running backs. Cook is one of the best ones in the NFL. What do you think is going to happen to Kansas City? If Kansas City doesn't score 31 in this game, they won't win. I don't want anything to do with it. Total's 48.5. There's only one line out, and that's at Circa, and they got Minnesota favored too. Everybody else has got it scratched. Miami, New York Jets. Jets on the road laying 3. Why? Why? Two bad teams. You always look to take the underdog. Just general old handicapping rule. Got two bad teams, look to take points, and that points happen to be at home. Jets laying points on the road. Miami has played hard their last 3 games. Maybe they're due. Neither team, they opened up at the opening line in this rose 6.5 down to 3. Yeah. If I had Miami at 6.5, I'd take them all day long. Miami, maybe put them in a teaser at Buffalo, take them up to +9. Buffalo down to -4. Indianapolis, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, pick 'em 43. I've even seen some line movement where it's switched to Indy -1. The Colts absolutely laid a dud last week. Got beat by a bad Denver team. And I mean a bad Denver team. That offense was scary. Pittsburgh's playing a little better defensively now. Of course, the competition level has not been that high. But at the end of the day here, this is a coin flip ball game. Detroit, Oakland. Oakland laying 2. At home, 50.5. Initial reaction, if you can get Oakland under a fall number 3, I'd take them. Just initially. Stafford's a better quarterback in that game. Oakland played well last week, well enough to win. Some things didn't go their way. You know, if Kansas City continues to struggle, Oakland can win that division. This is a huge game for Oakland. Trust me, Gruden will have them ready. And he's a better coach than Patricia. Seattle laying 6 against Tampa Bay. Jameis Winston, human turnover machine. Seattle rolling along, kind of under the radar screen. Russell Wilson up for league MVP. I can only look at Seattle there. There's another great tease down to a half-pointer pick 'em. Denver taking on Cleveland. Cleveland laying 3. Flacco out. Cleveland. Green Bay, LA Chargers. Chargers are absolutely, they're 2. What'd I read? 2-11 in Carson or something like that. No home field advantage. 0-4 there this year. Green Bay rolling along. Devontae Adams is supposed to come back this weekend. There's more doom. Rodgers clicking on all cylinders. The running game's kicking ass. They're playing fairly well defensively. 47 might be a bit low. But they got the hook on Green Bay now. They were 3, now they're 3.5. In a couple spots, they opened up at 4, dropped all the way down to 3. They're still 3 at one book, and that would be, MGM. Everywhere else in town, they're at 3.5. I want nothing to do with Los Angeles Chargers, especially against a good team who knows how to close a game. Nobody knows how to close out a game better than Aaron Rodgers. Phillip Rivers, not so much. Or the Chargers, for that fact. And they got lucky they won last week. And Baltimore, New England, you want to get in front of the freight train that is the New England Patriots. Two good coaches going at it. I'll guarantee you one thing, with 31 sacks and 19 interceptions, Lamar Jackson is going to be limited. And if he's limited and his run game is limited against the league's best defense, what's Baltimore going to do? Do you know that Bill Belichick is 21-0 straight up against first rookie or first-year quarterbacks? Impressive. Dallas, New York on Monday night. Dallas laying 7 on the road, total 48. It'd be Dallas or nothing. That's a tough one. I'll live to fight another day on that one. Total 48 might be... Wow. Opened up at 9, dropped 2, 7.5. You've got this -7, -120, -110 all over the board. You get them at 7.5 even. Bet MGM, they're going to go up. This is going to be an off the fall number of 7 by Monday. If you like Dallas, take them early because it's going to be off that fall number. They're going to put the hook on that. Then you take a second look maybe later in the week. That's your NFL line report today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Those of you that are with me will have a hell of a lot better this week on Sunday than we did last Sunday. Let's get it done. Be sure and tune in to Docs. There's a ton of handicappers and free information over there. Come on over and visit us. Take advantage of that free $60. If you've never jumped on board, we'll guarantee those plays you use that $60 with. No better deal on the internet.